from the Delhi High Court. The Delhi High Court has issued summons to Congress leaders Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Kheda over a civil suit filed by Union Minister Smriti Irani. The court has now directed Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Kheda to remove the tweets made by them against Smriti Irani and her daughter. Remember, it was just a week ago that Smriti Irani had conducted a press conference and threatened legal action against Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Kheda for alleging or accusing her daughter of having ownership in a Goa pub. For more details, let's quickly go across to Ananya Bhatnagar. Ananya, if you could break down this news for us. Clearly, Smriti Irani has finally taken legal action as she had threatened earlier.
Well, yes, definitely. This is the second leg of legal action that she has taken.
Right.
She has already issued a legal notice to the two Congress leaders earlier on Sunday. Apart from that, today she had filed a civil defamation suit before the Delhi High Court seeking damages of up to 2 crores of rupees for allegedly defaming her and her daughter over making certain allegations against her. Now, the court has also observed that prima facie case is made out against the defendants, that is Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Kheda, and in fact, it has also directed both of them to delete their posts and tweets against Ms. Smriti Irani and her daughter. And in fact, it has also directed that in case these two people do not do the same in in 24 hours, then the social media platforms would have taken down these tweets and these posts that have been made against the union minister and her daughter. Remember that Pawan Kheda and Jairam Ramesh had tweeted about her daughter having some ownership of a club in Goa, but then now after this civil suit, they would have to take down these tweets, and Judge Mini Pushkarna, a single judge bench of the Delhi High Court, was very, very clear that a prima facie case is made out, and the court has now issued summons. That is, in a civil suit, the notices that are issued seeking a response are basically called summons, and hence summons have been issued against Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Kheda over the alleged defamation that they have done against the union minister. Akansha.
Right, Ananya, what happens in case the social media posts or these tweets are not removed? As far as the Delhi High Court is concerned, what has the court said?
Well, the court actually, Akansha, has said that in case these tweets are not deleted by these two Congress leaders, then the social media platform, that is Twitter, has to take down these tweets, and then the social media, the onus would be on the social media platforms to take down these tweets. But what she has sought more in a plea is a 2 crores in civil defamation, and hence it would be decided only after a final outcome of this in fact, civil suit comes out, because this is just an interim relief that has been granted to Ms. Smriti Zubin Irani after the court noted that the prima facie case is made out against the two Congress leaders.
Right. Ananya, just stay with us because we are getting in some more breaking inputs after the High Court ordered. Jairam Ramesh remains defiant. The tweets, as far as the Delhi High Court has issued the notice asking us to formally reply to the case filed by Smriti Irani. We look forward to presenting the facts before the court. That's what Jairam Ramesh has to say. He's saying that we will challenge and disapprove the spin being put out by Miss Smriti Irani. That's the latest we are now bringing to you. Pallavi, clearly this controversy is not going to die down anytime soon. Jairam Ramesh all set to march to the court with his own version.
Yeah, just to give a backdrop, recently there was a press conference which was done by Pawan Kheda and Jairam Ramesh, and this was on that, the restaurant believed to have been owned by the Smriti Irani and her family in Goa, and that is when this notice was issued at a press conference. Also, Smriti Irani had referred to it. So when the High Court has given this notice to Pawan Kheda and Jairam Ramesh, so they are also playing this entire narrative that we have said nothing wrong, and therefore we are ready to face the court and the law, and we are going to put our facts forward. Very clearly, the battle between the Congress and the BJP is certainly becoming even more acrimonious. It may have begun with a cafe on this issue, but obviously it has got intertwined with the Rashtrapatni comment of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary, Sonia Gandhi versus Smriti Irani and the rest of the BJP MPs pat. So complete breakdown of communication between the BJP and the Congress, and all of it is circling around Sonia Gandhi and Smriti Irani.
Pallavi, I'll request you to stay on with us. Ridhima this side. Ananya, I want to come to you and just to recap for our viewers in terms of these summons that have been issued by the Delhi High Court. Okay, we seem to have lost that connection with my colleague Ananya, but let me go back to Pallavi. Pallavi, as you were rightly pointing out, we've been seeing the war of words in the backdrop of the comments made by Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. How do you now see this latest flashpoint playing out in the days to come?
Well, it's just going to add fuel to the fire. It's just going to add to the confrontation between both the sides. The BJP, of course, is going to say that this is law taking its own course, and the BJP is certainly not dictating to the courts. After all, it's a defamation suit. It's also a kind of a defamation from the Congress party, who, without knowing the facts, made these kind of allegations against Smriti Irani. I think it's very interesting that for 2024 and in the days leading up to it, it's again becoming a battle between two women. Sonia Gandhi of the Congress, Smriti Irani of the BJP. So that card is, of course, going to be played even by the Congress party. I'm sure you heard what Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary had to say earlier today in Parliament, when he said that she was the one who got the women reservation bill. So and if anyone understands the need for an empowerment of women, it is actually Sonia Gandhi more than the BJP which claims to do so.
You know, Pallavi, considering the fight, I'll just request you to stay on with us, Pallavi. We're getting some reactions also now coming in. Let's listen into those first.
दिल्ली हाईकोर्ट ने समन जारी किया है कांग्रेस के नेताओं ने, जो उन्होंने बीजेपी केंद्रीय मंत्री स्मृति ईरानी के बारे में टिप्पणी की थी। हमारे साथ रमेश विदुड़ी जी हैं, बीजेपी सांसद। सर, हाईकोर्ट का ये आदेश है, कैसे देखेंगे आप?
देखो, संवैधानिक जिन्हीं पदों का सम्मान कांग्रेस को करना चाहिए। कांग्रेस ने बाबा भीमराव अंबेडकर जी का सम्मान नहीं किया, उनको चुनाव हराया, उनको रास्ते से हटाने का प्रयास किया, जिन्होंने संविधान बनाया। तो कांग्रेस को कहीं लगता है ये कि हम सुपरमैन हैं, हम बड़े घराने के लोग हैं। कांग्रेस के लीडरशिप को भी लगता है, और कहीं ना कहीं उनकी फ्रस्ट्रेशन भी है कि देश ने उनको नकार दिया, उनके अत्याचार, उनके तुष्टीकरण, उनके देश के साथ समझौते, दुश्मनों के साथ में देश के गरीबों का हक और अधिकार ना देना, इससे देशवासियों ने उनको नकार दिया। तो कांग्रेसियों की फ्रस्ट्रेशन है कि संवैधानिक पद पर बने रहने वाले ऐसे सम्मानित लोगों के साथ भी वो टिप्पणियां करते हैं, बदतमीजियां करते हैं। ये इनके खिलाफ सोनिया जी को आगे बढ़कर ये संज्ञान लेना चाहिए।
हाईकोर्ट ने यह भी कहा है कि सोशल मीडिया पर इस मुद्दे से जुड़े जो भी कंटेंट है वो हटाया जाए।
अब ये तो कानून है, कानून अपना काम करेगा, हटाने चाहिए। अगर वो नहीं हटाएंगे तो हाईकोर्ट आगे संज्ञान लेगा। लेकिन मैंने जैसे कहा, ये इनकी फ्रस्ट्रेशन है, और इस फ्रस्ट्रेशन के खामियाजे इनको डे बाय डे भुगतना पड़ रहा है, और देश ने इनको घर बैठाने का काम 1 by 1 कर दिया है। इस बार 40 है, अगली बार 4 रह जाएंगे।
अमित पांडे, दिल्ली न्यूज़ 18 इंडिया।
That really is the latest flashpoint as between the BJP and the Congress. My colleagues Pallavi Ghosh and our legal correspondent Ananya Bhatnagar continue to be with us. Ananya, Ridhima this side, just to recap for our viewers in terms of these summons that have been issued by the Delhi High Court to Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera. What does it essentially say? Also, if these tweets are not removed by the respective leaders, what happens from there on?
Well, yes, Ridhima, answering your first question first, the summons basically mean in this case a notice, because remember, whenever in a civil suit the court issues notice, seeks a response from the defendants against whom this civil defamation suit has been filed, the court summons them technically, and this is why we say that summons have been issued against Jairam Ramesh and in fact Pawan Khera. And now what the second leg of your question is that if these tweets are not taken down by Jairam Ramesh and Pawan Khera in 24 hours, then the court has directed the social media platforms like Twitter to remove these tweets. So if at all these two leaders don't do it, the social media platforms would have to do it, and it is a categorical observation of the court.
Okay. We seem to have lost that connection with my colleague Ananya Bhatnagar, but as he was pointing out that this is essentially a notice, what we've heard from the Delhi High Court is that those tweets need to be removed, and if they're not removed by the respective leaders, then the social media platforms will be brought in as well. But Pallavi continues to be with us, and Pallavi, one of the crucial points that we've seen a defined Jairam Ramesh now say, he's gone on to say that we will challenge and disapprove the spin being put out by Miss Irani. Could you give us both the versions that we've heard from both the leaders so far?
Well, I mean, if you're going to talk specifically about the notice which he's got, well, there was a press conference by Pawan Khera and Jairam Ramesh, and several tweets by the Congress's leaders alleging that the Silly Souls Cafe in Goa actually was owned by Smriti Irani's daughter, and rules had been flouted. Immediately